What's up, guys? This is just a Mayhem and Warped Tour tips video for those of you that live in Pennsylvania, and for those of you that are going to the Pittsburgh/Burgettstown Mayhem. You have exactly 1 week from today to get ready for it, and there's a few things that you should know. This will apply to Mayhem and Warped Tour because a lot of this stuff basically works with either. So think about this kind of stuff. This is some things that you're going to need to know regardless. Okay, first thing, please use sunscreen. If you don't, I don't care how hot it is, you will get burnt like a freaking lobster if you don't. Second thing, honestly, in my opinion, this isn't really necessary because I didn't use this last year. If you know it's going to rain and you don't want to get wet, use a pocket poncho. You can get them at Dollar General or somewhere like that for $1 or $2. It's what it basically is a clear poncho that you can put over yourself, and it's almost like a raincoat in your pocket. You can kind of figure that out. You can imagine that. This one pertains to Warped Tour. There is a free water tent. So if you bring in a sealed bottle of water, it has to be sealed because for some reason the security doesn't let you in if you have an unsealed bottle, or buy one there, and you can refill it at the free water station all day long at absolutely no charge. So you can keep yourself hydrated with that. Check for the signing times. I'm sure at Mayhem it's probably going to be a little crazy because they're not going to have all their signing times released for everybody ahead of time, because they keep moving the bands around to different tents. And even when you get to Mayhem, take a look around, like during the openers or something, or a band that you don't want to see. Take a look around, see what bands are signing at what time. Maybe you'll run into one that's already signing that you can jump into. Some of you probably aren't into that kind of stuff, but if you are, check that out. You won't know what bands are signing at what time, or what bands are playing at what time, until the day of Warped. Every single day on Warped Tour, the set times change, the signing times change, the signing locations change, so you just have to kind of figure that one out for yourself when you get to Warped. Another big thing I gotta talk to you about, this is something I kind of stand by when I'm explaining Mayhem and Warped Tour to people. If you can't take a hit, stay out of the pit. If you don't want to get smacked around, if you don't want to get thrown, just banged up, then kind of stay away from the pits. Go to either the back of the crowd or get right up into the front couple rows, because those rows actually aren't bothered as far as pits go. They can't start a mosh pit in the front. If you don't want to get in the mosh pit, just stay away from them. It's that simple. You don't have to be in the crowd where they're at. If you're kind of afraid of it, just back away from them a little bit. Don't go too close to it, because if you get too close to a pit and you don't want to be in it, they will suck you in regardless, because pits get crazy. They'll take anybody into any pit, and if you don't know what you're doing and you don't want to get in the pit in the first place, you're going to get pretty screwed up. Crowd surfing can be actually very dangerous. I know a lot of you guys know that, but I witnessed a couple serious injuries last year at Warped Tour and Mayhem. There was a girl that was crowd surfing during Motionless in White's set. She was just being tossed around in the crowd, and she started to crowd surf towards the front, and she got like right beside me, and she was just kind of going, and the people that were supporting her just dropped her, and she landed right on her head, busted her head open, knocked herself out cold. It took me and 3 other guys to pick her up because she was just dead weight. She was out cold. She got hurt. She had to be wheeled out of there. That is not a safe thing to do, but if you like to crowd surf, if you haven't had a problem with it, that's up to you guys, If you want to crowd surf, go ahead. I mean, more power to you. I personally don't, because I'm more concerned about watching the band and filming and getting good videos and pictures and stuff like that. So that's not my thing, but if you like to crowd surf and you don't like to mosh, go for it. Get there early. That is another big one, because if you get there a little late or a little later than you're intending to, you're not going to get a very good spot in line at the gates, especially at Warped Tour when the bands are just playing as soon as you get into the gate. You might end up missing one of your favorite bands if they get to play that early. At a lot of venues, there is a no re-entry policy. So if you have to go out of the venue to get something out of your car, or you forgot something, or you forgot a camera, or you forgot a purse or something, if you go back to get it, chances are they're not going to let you back in. Some places will actually make you pay for another ticket to get back into the venue. So in my opinion, that's BS. But if you have to leave for any reason, you kind of can't. So make sure you have everything out of your car and everything that you need before you even leave. Also, don't bring any steel folding chairs or lawn chairs or blankets or any of that kind of stuff, because in my venue last year at Mayhem Fest, my mom and my friend's mom had some I don't know if they were lawn chairs or blankets or what. They had a couple different things, and the security actually made them take it back to the car. I don't know why. I don't know if they think it has a bomb or something in it, but they decided to make us take it all the way back. But luckily I was already in the gates. I was kind of gone for that. Save yourself some trouble. Don't bring that kind of stuff in, because they're not going to let you take it. Merch is usually like $20 or $30. I mean, I don't know, because a lot of people have been asking me, do I know how much the merch is? A lot of people have been asking other people if they know. Look for it to be around $20 to $30 for shirts and stuff like that. And also, for those of you that were at Mayhem Fest in Pittsburgh last year in Pennsylvania, if you saw that big mud pit they made in the lawn, that is actually permitted to be done. They let you do that, but one thing they will not let you do is throw pieces of sod and throw pieces of mud into the pavilion. Drunken morons were doing that last year and actually nailed a little girl right in the back of the head with a very hard piece of sod, and she had to be carted out of there to the ER in the middle of the main stage. Just don't do that. But if you want to have a mud pit, you want to mosh up there on the lawn, go for it. If that's your thing, go ahead and do it. And at Warped Tour, there's a ton of merch booths. A lot of merch tents, a lot of signings going on. Feel free to check a lot of that stuff out if you're going. If there's some bands that you don't want to see, or you're just taking a break, feel free to walk around, check out all the merch booths. A lot of it is like festival stuff. A lot of it doesn't even have to do with the music itself, you know, just some fun things that are going on. Speaking of Warped, Kevin Lyman actually released a video statement about a week and a half ago, and apparently now parents are allowed to get into Warped Tour free. You have to take them to this tent and sign them up, get them a wristband, and they get in at no charge. So you might want to check the Warped Tour site. It's vanswarpedtour.com. You might want to check that out. Bring a lot of money for water, beer, merch, anything like that, because last year a bottle of water was $4.50, which is really high for water. Bring a lot of money for that, because at Mayhem you're going to need it, because Mayhem doesn't have the free water thing that I talked about before. That's only at Warped Tour. At Mayhem last year, a bottle of water was $4.50, a bottle of Powerade was $6.50, and 12-ounce can of beer was $12. If you plan on drinking a lot of alcohol that day, you're going to be paying out a lot of money if you want to get drunk. But in my opinion, don't get drunk, because you're going to want to enjoy the show. If you don't want to enjoy the show and you just want to go party and get drunk and be an idiot, and go ahead. And I'll just tell you about some of the signings that I heard about for Mayhem. A lot of them have been signing every other day, or just signing at different times for every day, so you might want to just check that out when you get to Mayhem if you're going. The signings I heard about are Amon Amar at 3 o'clock at their merch tent. That's every day. That's going to be at every date. Children of Bodom is supposed to sign somewhere between 2 and 3 at their merch tent. I don't know what time they're actually doing it. That was just one that I heard about. Job for a Cowboy has a signing in the Jägermeister tent and another one at their merch tent at 5:40. But I don't know what time the Jaeger tent is. Jagger, whatever the heck kind of name that is. I don't know what time that one's going to be, but if you plan on going to that tent, it's actually 21 and over signing. So if you're under 21, you're probably going to need either some sort of identification or one of your parents to go with you, which is stupid, but I think it's because they're serving beer in there, and you know, it's all this crap. You have to be politically correct about everything these days. Butcher Babies are signing at 4 o'clock at their merch tent. Mastodon has been signing around 4:30, maybe 4 o'clock at the Rockstar Energy compound. And Motionless in White has been signing between 5 and 5:30 at the Rockstar compound. I got tipped off from a friend. You also might want to check the Musicians Institute tent throughout the day to see if you can catch Born of Osiris, Amir, Thrown into Exile, and Butcher Babies hanging out around there, because I heard that they do some signings too. If you want to catch them wandering around, stop by that tent, because chances are one of them is going to be there at some point during the day. And Born of Osiris also has another signing in the Jägermeister tent, but I don't know what time it is. That's been varying every other day. Another thing that I might as well tell you guys while I have you here, I don't care if you laugh, this is actually kind of a funny thing. Last year, Warped Tour was the same day as my mom's birthday, and she turned 55 on the day of Warped last year in Pittsburgh. So she actually got a lot of pictures and autographs and birthday hugs from a lot of the band members. She got to meet Born of Osiris, and she got a picture with Chris Motionless, or Motionless in White, got a picture with Born of Osiris, you know, all kind of stuff like that. She was actually doing very well. This year, her birthday falls on our Mayhem date. So if you guys are going to the Pittsburgh / Burgettstown, whatever town you want to call it, if you're going to that date or Mayhem Fest and you see me or you find my mom, wish her a happy birthday, come hang out, say hi, take pictures, whatever you want to do. And she also messaged me just now to tell you guys that if you guys have some parents that want to go, or they're taking you, or they're kind of leery about going, she said to tell you guys to tell your parents that they're going to have a blast at Warped or Mayhem, either one. Tell them not to be too afraid of it. That's all for today, guys. I hope this video helped you a little bit. If you have any other questions, comment or message me. I'll answer anything. See you later.